Welcome back to the Football Tragics. We're back. It's me and Morty again. I'd love to say give shit to Aaron and Camper, but it is the same night. We are recording the podcast back to back. But again, reliable Morty's back. I'm somehow here for 4 pods in a row. It's not going to last, but Morty, we're going to jump straight into it because I've already asked how you are on the other podcast, so I don't really care anymore. And you're a Liverpool fan, so I couldn't care less. But the games are on your screen. It kicks off Wednesday, Brentford versus United, Norwich versus Villa, Man City versus Leeds. Thursday, Brighton will take on Wolves. Crystal Palace will take on Southampton. Burnley versus Watford. Arsenal versus West Ham. Into Friday, maybe if they get over COVID, Leicester versus Tottenham. Chelsea versus Everton. And finally, wrapping up the round, this is the one game I'm probably going to go for Liverpool. Liverpool versus Newcastle. We'll jump straight into it. Morty, I'm going to let you start here. Brentford versus United. Give us your prediction.
Midweek games. Christmas period, we love to see it. Games coming at us thick and fast. Brentford at home. It's going to be tough. I mean, United, they're not too crash hot, but however, the only games United have won all season have been midweek, so I'll give it to you there. It's hard to go against United here. I mean, Tony's still out. He's going to be out with COVID for, I think the period's still 14 days for him. So we're without him, and I'd say your defence probably holds up a bit better than Watford's there. So De Gea and goals.
I will get you there. It is interesting that you do bring up our defence because this game is still in doubt. Obviously, COVID is spreading quite quickly around the Premier League. So obviously, our thoughts are with players who have got it, families who have got it. But could this be a way that if United somehow, let's say Maguire gets COVID or Lindelof gets COVID, we could see Phil Jones back in this lineup? There has been 5 managers that have tried to get rid of Phil Jones, and he's still in this squad. I'm all for it. Let's get him back in the squad. I'm there for the memes. I'm there for the memories. Get him back in the squad.
But what happens if you end up with Maguire and Phil Jones?
Phil Jones will be our best centre-back that we've got on the park. That's what's going to happen.
Just Varane's been in lockdown himself. I think to bring him back early, let him do a job by himself. He's probably better by himself than the rest of the lot together. So,
yeah, I mean,
it's going to be interesting.
It is tough to obviously go against United. Obviously, if there is news that breaks of what players do have COVID, we will put it on our Facebook, on our Instagram. But yeah, it's a game that we should go ahead. We should win. And looking at our fixtures, it's a month where we should almost run. I'm going to say this nicely so I don't get this clipped up, but we should almost run through with maximum points. I'm not going to say undefeated, but it should almost be maximum points. We have a very easy run. Knowing my luck, will finish losing half of them, but I'm going to lock in a United 3-1. I don't think we'll keep another clean sheet. I'd love to keep another clean sheet. I think De Gea deserves it, but I think we'll concede. What's your prediction, Morty?
I was going to go 2-1. United finally score from open play again.
What do you mean we finally score from open play? We did it against Arsenal.
You finally got penalties again, and you start winning games. There's no ifs or buts about it.
Listen, all I saw from that is City got a penalty, Chelsea got a penalty, Liverpool got a penalty. We're still a big 4. We got a penalty too. We're still in that big 4. They've gifted us penalties on that day. We're going to take it. We're going to move on. We're going to go to your probably, I'm going to say your second team at heart here. Norwich taking on Steven Gerrard's Villa. How do you see this game going? Surely there's only one way.
It's hard to see anything other than a Villa win here. Fairly sure Villa have done them in for the past 4 years. I think even when Norwich were at their peak and they were the hottest thing coming into the Prem the first time, Villa still had the 2 over them that year and the year in the Prem. So, yeah, Gerrard's he's making things happen. I think he's doing some things at the club, and he's doing some wonders. Considering where they were, I'm going to go 2-0 Villa, very conservative. I reckon another one of their centre-backs gets on the score sheet.
I mean, I'm all here, and I'm hoping, and this is just me personally, I very rarely back Steven Gerrard. but I'm going to go 4-0 Villa. I think what they've shown me since he's come in and what Norwich has showed me this year, 2 years ago, and 2 years before that, they're just shambolic. And yeah, it's a tough one. Obviously, they are at home. They do have Pookie, who can score a goal, but they offer nothing.
Pookie's already scored this month. He ain't scoring again this month. He gets one a month these days.
I don't know if he's scoring again this year, the way I see him play. Like, he gets that shit goal, and then that's all he's going to do. And, I mean, you were a biggest Pookie party person there was his first year up, and it's.
He
I
had
think
more goals than Ronaldo at this point.
Who has more goals than Ronaldo?
Pookie. He had more goals.
Oh,
he's had more goals in his first year than Ronaldo at this point, but different times.
Yeah, we always have to pick on Ronaldo, but sure, I'll give you that. Like I said, 4-0 Villa. I'm going to be happy with this result. Norwich will stay in that relegation zone. Another team that I hope does join him in the relegation zone, Leeds. They're taking on Manchester City at the Etihad, or as they like to call it, the Empty Head. How do you see this one going, Morty?
I think there might be an upset here.
Leeds might get a shot on target. Is that the upset?
I'm gonna go Leeds in 3-1.
All right. So if there's any betting people out there, whenever Morty goes against one of the big boys, he gets it right every now and again. But 90% of the time, City's going to come out and win this game 5-0. So if you're a betting man, -2, there's your bet.
They're without Cancelo. I don't know. They didn't produce that much last game. Like, they weren't on form, and Leeds still showed a little bit more enthusiasm last week, and I think it might be time. It might happen.
All right. So what was your score again? Was it 3-1? All right. I'm going to go. I somehow back him every week. He's become a personal favourite. He was at United just because of how quick he was. I'm going to go 3-1 the other way, City to win the game, but Daniel James to do something and get on the score sheet. And if he doesn't, I can't remember who I've got in my team. I think it's Rafinha. Let him do something, and I'll be happy.
Probably right? Rafinha.
Moving on to another game that could go either way. We're going to go Brighton versus Wolves. Oh, it's a difficult one. Obviously, the red card last game changes the whole aspect of this game going forward. Who do you think takes the points here, Morty?
Well, last year we saw under Nunes, without Jimenez, Wolves were shocking, to say the least. But this new manager, who I'd say is an absolute twat, he's setting up his squad for an all-out defence, and Jimenez not being there isn't going to change that. So I'm going for a stalemate, 0-0, dead game. This the Burnley West Ham of last week.
All right, I'm going to make a prediction here. I'm going to say, I don't even know if he's injured. He's been that quiet that I'm not actually sure if he's injured, but I'm going to go Traore to score the goal. They're going to win 1-0.
He's not injured. He's had all the chances in the world. He just cannot shoot.
Matt, if that man could shoot, he would be up there for $120 million. He can't shoot to save his life.
No, he's running. He's not looking at the ball. He's just kind of his legs are that big. He just swings it and hopefully it hits it. Maybe
the issue is when they put the Vaseline all over him, then he ties his shoelaces and he makes his shoes slippery, and that's why he can't shoot. That's what I'm going for. But I'm going to go for a 1-0 Wolves because I love watching Brighton fall. Their fans were so cocky when they were top of the league for that 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever it was. They were in the top 4.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
They've got 9 players out now. They're not even COVID affected and they've got 9 players out. So God help them if they have a COVID case.
And who knows, there might be more COVID cases to come and they might lose a few players, but I'm going 1-0. Yeah. You've gone 0-0. It's not a game I'm going to be wanting to watch. Obviously, my boys will be on, but it's not a game that if this was a 2 a.m. game in the morning, I definitely would not be getting up. I'd be watching the highlights, and even then, I'm struggling to watch the highlights for this game. So we'll see how it goes.
On to the next one.
Moving
on
to
one I'll be watching.
Vieira Ball versus Big Ralph. Who gets the points, Morty? Take it away.
Trounce. Oh, I can see Leicester's, 9-0? Might be in with a problem this game. maybe 10-0. Southampton are in the bin, and Palace look like they can do anything. They're creating quality chance after quality chance. Mate, it wouldn't surprise me if Benteke has a hat trick this game. That Southampton are that far in the mud. So I'll go conservative prediction. I'll go 4-0. But it wouldn't surprise me to see way more than that.
Oh, the fact that you say conservative and it's 4-0 is a bit of a worry. I'd love to see your out there prediction. I think we're going to go a bit higher than 10 if that's your conservative pick. The same way you said this could be a slip up for City against Leeds, I think this could be a game where Southampton, I'm not going to say they're going to win, but they could bring Crystal Palace, a team like Palace, down to their level. They're going to get a draw. And you know what? I almost want to say Southampton are going to have the better chances at stealing this game. And just because I like Givo, I'm going to give him a 2-1 win. Just to shut Vieira up, shut Zaha up, shut anyone else up that goes for Crystal Palace. 2-1 Southampton. That's my prediction. That's a conservative
down to
prediction.
their level. They've got Palace have got the two biggest shithousery strikers on planet Earth at that level. Jordan Ayew and Benteke. They bring them down to that level. They're scoring. That's the sort of thing we're talking about here. They've got the quality. They've got the shithousery. Mate, this is going whitewash.
I want to know why you're giving Crystal Palace so much credit and you're attacking Southampton. It's a 3-point difference on the table. Like, if Southampton win this,
Palace are enjoyable to watch. They're going out and doing some things. Southampton got draw after draw, and they've lost to the shittest squads. Like Southampton took a point off Man City, and they've done nothing ever since. They've been sent to the Shadow Realm. They're going down. Norwich on the up.
Well, I've asked Campo. Campo said full credit to Southampton. He didn't really, but full credit to Southampton. They're getting the points. And you know what? When they do get the points, Campo will be on the pod. He hasn't known this yet, but he will be on the pod and he will be giving credit to Big Ralph getting the 3 points against Crystal Palace because he hates
You'll find a way to not.
He hates Crystal Palace. But we will move on. It was a terrible game last week for this team. It was so boring, but it's Burnley versus Watford. I'm going to kick it off. I'm going Watford. I think Ranieri has too much class. He'll get Dennis firing. Dennis will get on the score sheet. I'm going to go 2-0 to Watford, and Burnley is going to offer less than what they offered this week. Morty?
I'm the same here. I think this is a must-win for Watford. They are obviously on the edge of relegation. This is one of those games they need that 3 points to be staying that little bit clear. Burnley, they're offering nothing. Yeah. The cycling GK is still missing in action after his charity match injury. So hopefully he's back sometime soon because they are in need of a decent keeper because whoever they had in goal should be having some words to about that contract being torn up. That was shambolic. But, yeah, I think Watford, they've shown us they can produce this year. They need to produce this season. I think Burnley are finally starting to realise that they have to play attacking football and they can't even shithouse a goal because they're usually used to having one player up top shithousing something and they've now got 4 people up there and they don't know what they're doing. Struggle streak for Burnley, Watford, 2-0.
All right, so we're on agreement there. So we will chuck a small cheeky bet in our punters club. It is my week. We will chuck a small sneaky bet on that 2-0 result. We'll move into Arsenal versus West Ham. A big game now in the scheme of that top 4. If you would have rewound 6 weeks ago, you're saying West Ham's going to kill him. West Ham's going to murder him. But a win for Arsenal will put them above West Ham in that top 4. Who do you think gets the points here? Or do you think it's going to be a draw? Do you think they both settle for a draw?
No, because all things considered, I think United have got that win first up, putting them into the top 4. Then you've got these two battling it out. Obviously, if Arsenal take the win, they will go back to Europa and pushes West Ham down to 6th. So, yeah, very interesting match, this one. Obviously, on their day, they can both perform. But as we've seen, both of them have produced some very bang average performances when we expected them to have a little bit more coming off some of their other results this year. So I don't even know how to predict this game. I'll go West Ham 2-1. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Okay, I'm back. I was on mute for a second then.
Yeah, there.
Does Antonio score this game? Does he get it back? Does he get his scoring form back? Or does his run continue?
I think he probably gets marked out of the game by Arsenal and their attacking players behind him get in. I think Bowen's their main goal scoring machine at the moment, and I'm considering bringing him in this week because he is in some serious form.
Big talk. He's giving away his tips here. He's my closest rival at the moment in that fantasy.
We are obviously 1-2, so yeah.
Oh, listen, there's number one, there's daylight, and then you're 6 points back in number two. It might change.
We haven't come up against each other yet. I'm yet to take me 3 points off here.
I'm pretty sure my mate knocked me off this week once updates come in. So I think you do move within 3 points. So at this stage, I'm sitting pretty. I'm going to take it. I'm inside the top 2,000 in Australia, 1,200. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to go here. Arsenal 1-0. And it's going to call more people to agree with me when I say Ramsdale is the best keeper England has at the moment. I think he's going to pull up another masterclass. He's going to earn him another 3 points. And they're going to move into the top four. I think they're going to do it.
That was the other thing I forgot to mention. Pickford was absolutely dreadful last week. Just quietly. He was shocking. Unless he's playing a top four squad or for England, the bloke is literally dog water. But yeah, Ramsdale, we all sit here and say we were wrong. Like we all thought they wasted 30 million on him, but I think already 4 months in, that 30 million's paid off. I think they've got the results off the back of him already.
So, I think it's interesting. Obviously, we said it was a waste when we thought he was sitting on the bench. He's obviously pushed Leno to that bench position, and well, we can flip it now. Ramsdale's good money, but their money on Leno is an absolute waste. So we're still right. They wasted money on one goalkeeper, but he's been unbelievable, and it wouldn't shock me if this guy gets a call up in the future. I think he deserves it. I think Pickford has been atrocious.
Ramsdale, you're always going to get an 8, 9 out of 10. Pickford, you're either going to get a 10 out of 10 or a 1 out of 10, and there's no in between. So,
all right. Well, we'll move on. Leicester versus Tottenham. Will it go ahead? Who knows? But Morty, give us your prediction.
I don't think it's going ahead because some of the contracted cases were from the Saturday our time, which puts it a day short of that 14-day period. I think. I'm not sure. But in saying that, the Premier League might come out and say, well, you've got a top 30 there. You need to put a squad on the pitch because we can't keep delaying all these games for you. And we're already going to have other games, possibly other cases this week. So they can't be putting that many games behind at this point. So we will have to see.
I have just had a.
However, no matter who Tottenham's putting on the pitch.
Yeah, who they put in on the pitch?
It doesn't matter who Tottenham puts out. Leicester 3-1.
Well, I did just have an update from Twitter just pop up on my phone. Tottenham do have another first-team case. They haven't released who it is, but apparently it's also spread through their under-23s. So if it has gone through their reserves and their under-23s, I highly doubt seeing this game taking a start. That would put them, 3 games behind everyone else, and that's going to be a very crazy period.
Forfeit.
Oh, I mean, we all say forfeit until our team cops the injuries, but let's say this game goes ahead. You've obviously said Leicester's going to have too much. What do you see the score being?
3-1. Leicester doing it in. Son purely scoring for fantasy for me. That's about it.
Well, if they still are affected by COVID and this game goes ahead, I think, like you said before, that 9-0 could be in a bit of trouble. They could be knocking it off. I'm going to go, if they're missing all their big stars, 5-0 Leicester. If they get a few of their stars back, I'm going to go 2-1 Leicester. And I'll give you Son just because I don't think I'm playing you this week. So I'll let Son score this week. Moving on.
Fair play. All
a
right.
side that you hate versus a side that you hate. Chelsea versus Everton. Morty, let's be honest. If they could both lose, you'd probably pick that result. But they either need to, one team needs to pick up points or they both need to pick up a point. How do you see this one playing out?
Nothing would make me happier than a 1-1 draw in this game. Just to
a
wipe
draw?
out everyone's fantasy points for Chelsea defenders that everyone seems to have 10 of. And just in me draft league, peeking at the goal. That's as much as I'll give credit to either team. Chelsea has taken all the bias out of it. They're looking questionable. And like, I don't know if you saw, even after they went up, they were looking to fight Leeds at the 95th minute. Like, I don't know what is going on through their heads. Tuchel was sitting very, I wouldn't say angry, but he was looking very, I don't know what the word would be, but I think he probably went into that change room and gave an absolute hiding. Not even just from the performance, just from the way they acted that game. So, yeah, non-biased, I think Chelsea probably get the win 2-1. Not pretty. Biased, I hope for a 1-1 draw.
I'm gonna go 4-0 Chelsea. Pickford is terrible. Everton are terrible. They're in the mud. I just don't see this
Chelsea
game.
top 4. Pickford rocks up. That's all he does.
I don't know. Like you bring up a good point. He does show up when it's a big 4 team, but man, I don't know. Just put the ball near the top corner and his arms are too small to get to it. You score a goal. It wouldn't surprise me if Lukaku scores. Werner might get on the score sheet. I hope for the young lad, Mason Mount. I don't know. I think they look better without Lukaku. We've had this discussion. I think even Aaron agreed with it to a degree, but I think they look better without him. But I think for the money you're paying and the weekly wage, he started this game.
Yeah, but that didn't change. They spent the same on Werner, and he still sat on the bench a lot of the time last year.
He also missed 755 chances. So at least Lukaku is coming back from injury. He has an excuse why he's missing the target.
Mate, Lukaku's not even facing the right way. He just plays hold-up play. He's back to the goal. He doesn't even have a chance to shoot.
I mean, hey, we've said it. The big man game is slowly getting phased out of the Premier League, and there was reports earlier coming out that there's been talk between players that wouldn't surprise them if Lukaku ends up back in Italy in the next couple of years because he loves the country. He loved being over there. So we'll see what happens, but I can't see this going any other way than a Chelsea result. Again, like you said, I would love nothing more for them both to drop points. Gets us a bit closer to Chelsea. Probably won't have to see Aaron on the podcast for another week, but yeah, I think Chelsea takes this one, and that will lead us into a game that I'm going to let you take charge, Morty. Be nice. We do have a few Newcastle fans that do listen weekly, so be nice. Liverpool taking on Newcastle at Anfield. How ugly is this going to get?
5-0.
That's as low as you're going. Okay, that's fair. Conservative. Yeah, that's conservative for this game.
I think Liverpool are looking a little bit. No, I wouldn't say conservative, considering some of the scorelines we put on this year, but they're looking more clean sheet first kind of attitude than we have in the past. I think it still end up working better for us on the score sheet at the end of the day, but some of the way we're playing is more directed towards that. I don't know if you've seen the stat when Thiago and Fabinho starting together, haven't lost together. They've drawn 1-14. I think they are probably one of the most underrated pairings. I think I wouldn't say, you can't say they're underrated, but under the radar, them starting, they've just been quality together.
That's because you don't watch enough of McFred, or they would be overrated, that pairing.
Hey, they're in every highlight of United, letting the ball past them. What do you mean?
They are, but hey, they're in the highlights, and that's what's most important, being in that highlight play.
Yeah, but Newcastle. I'm worried for this game.
You say you're worried or you're not worried?
I'm worried for him.
You're worried for Newcastle. Okay.
I'm also worried considering that they've got their billionaire owners and they're going, oh, that's what a Premier team needs to look like. We start rating them. But we'll see.
It's going to be interesting. I think this could get quite ugly. It is a game where Liverpool should win it quite comfortably. But just because I don't have any Liverpool... I've got Trent, but he'll probably get an assist. So just because I've only got one Liverpool defender... I'm going to go...
I want to see him with another free kick. I think
I'm going to go 6-1.
6-1.
6-1. We're going to go 6-1. I meant to Newcastle, not to Liverpool. I meant Newcastle's going to score. 6-1 to Liverpool. I think it's going to be an ugly goal. I don't know if Klopp rests some players, rotates a little bit. It is Newcastle, but I think it's going to be quite comfortable. It's going to be a game where...
Let me check on how long Firmino's still out for.
Just bring Benny back, mate. He doesn't want to be in Tottenham. Bring him back. PSG, bring him back.
Yeah, call it Tottenham because Poch doesn't want to be there either.
They're both shambolic. They both wanted to leave. They both got out. That's how it is.
Apparently he might be back. He might be back.
Does he come straight into the lineup? Does he come? Surely it's Newcastle. You at least bring him off the bench. Jota's earned his spot.
Probably. Minamino, Firmino, Jota. Give them all the rest.
There is no way.
Put Van Dijk on the bench too.
No way in the world Salah is walking into this game knowing he's missing most of January and going, I'm not going to go out there and score a hat-trick. I'm going for my golden boot. There's no way he's missing this game. He might come off in the 60th to 70th minute, but there's no way he's going to want to miss this game.
4-2-4. Salah, Minamino, Origi, Jota, Firmino, Thiago.
So you mean a 2-2-6 by the time Andy Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold go play striker? You're going to have Van Dijk sitting there by himself. What
do you mean? It's a 1-2-7. Matip's freaking dribbling halfway up the pitch too. So,
all right. So yeah, obviously, guys, there is a lot of games coming in thick and fast. It's a great time of the year. Obviously, we are going, or I'm on holiday soon, Morty. You don't get much of a break in your job, but we do have these games wrapping up on the 20th of December, and we're back 6 days later. So it's a great time of year. Plenty of games to come around.
Much easier for my sleeping pattern with 6:30 a.m. games. I'll give it that.
It's brilliant. Obviously, you've got those weekend games where they're still a bit dodgy, but these games this week, midweek, will be brilliant. We do have the Champions League draw come in very, very shortly, so we will pop that up on our socials. But yeah, we have been the Football Tragics. It's me and Morty again. Morty, great to speak to you. Go United, go Newcastle, and yeah, we'll see you next pod.